right, we're going to check everything that's accurate here before we wash the deal. Okay, remember washing is closing or clearing it out, and we've got a wash button up at the top. We just now, before we wash it, make sure everything is looking good and correct. Here is our deal number, here is our deal location, the contract amount. Remember, the contract and sold date are the same. Okay, here's my finance company. Yep. And then here's my status. We double check to show delivered. Here's the customer, their unit. They had their trade. When you hover over the trade, it shows you the ACV, and that is required. Now, there was one other thing I mentioned in the last lesson that you may remember, and that is when you have a trade, you have to add that stock into your inventory. So there is a separate tab here at the top for trade details. We're going to click on trade details. Okay, this is the item I'm looking here. We want to make sure our stock number is displayed. And then this button. So I did not click the button yesterday because I wanted to show you there is the option for this to be done in this form. The other items that I mentioned with you today, let's go back. The finance company, the delivered status, and the ACV. If you do not have those completed before you come to this form, you will have to leave this form, go back to the deal, make your corrections, and then come back to this form. Again, the finance company, the status, and the trade ACV. If you do not have those things completed before you come into profit accounting, you will have to leave this form, go out to the deal form to make those adjustments, and then come back. Remember, we're trying to save you time because time is money, money is time. If we save you time, we save you money. Okay, so here we've got that information accurate, and the one thing you can do from this screen is you can add that trade to your inventory. You do not have to leave the form in order to add the trade. So again, I could have done that yesterday, but in the deal form itself, but I wanted to go ahead and leave it so I could show you today. So I have now added that into that trade into my vehicle inventory. Okay, I'm going to go back to the deal overview, and everything is accurate here. Let's take a look at the 3 tabs at the bottom. So I have a front profit tab, which lists everything here you see has auto-populated from our deal form. And the vehicle cost is broken down with your vehicle cost, the vehicle adjustment, and the total vehicle cost. Below that is your trade information. Here you've got your trade allowance, and remember you could have up to 3 trades on a deal. So we've got ACV, actual cash value for trade 1, 2, or 3. Any over allowance here would automatically populate. Then we have our inventory breakdown. Okay, we've got the purchase price, how much your dealership paid for that unit. The add-ons, you can review add-ons by clicking on the cost of add-ons. And remember, we had that hitch. We also did the transportation. Okay, so one is the hitch, the Super Glide hitch. And that is an AC, an add-on cost, and it's in the form of an internal repair order. We also had an AC add-on cost, or additional charge, as it could be also referred to, for the transportation. And then just as a reminder, the PP is the purchase price. That's how the cost the dealer paid for the vehicle. All right, so this is a review of your inventory cost. We got there by clicking here on cost of add-ons. All right, we got our total current cost, and then we got an adjustment with my PAC, the Protection Against Commission. I go with $1,000 at my dealership for PAC, and it could have been a percentage, by the way. Your PAC can either be a flat rate or a percentage. All right, and that totals here, and then the cost of the salesperson is here. If you just continue right below that, you see some profit and cost percentage of gross. And if remember, as you hover over these fields, it will give you additional information and possibly even formulas and calculations that may be helpful to you. And then in the right-hand column, we have our front-end breakdown, the suggested retail, our selling price, the net selling price, administration fees, the total vehicle cost, and then it breaks it down, the retail difference, which anything over the allowance for the trade, and then you've got your vehicle gross, there's that PAC adjustment again, and here's my commissionable amount. Good job on the front end. Okay, here we go to the back end. All right, we're on the back profit tab, and we're talking here about your finance reserve, okay? And so this may also be known as a SPIF. This is that kickback that your finance company, remember I work with Sheffield here, my finance company, if I get the customer to finance through Sheffield, well then they give me a little kickback, or what's known as a SPIF. Here it's listed as a buy rate. So you can add this in as a percentage. You could add this in as a flat dollar amount. Okay, you have the option to do either or. You can use a percentage or you can use a flat dollar amount. Okay, that's on your finance reserve. All right, below on this tab, we see these items that are listed that I may have provided during the deal. And these items may be affiliated with a cost. In this column, you have the retail cost. So what is the customer paying for, in this case, the Road Guard plan that I've offered them? How much are they paying for the gap insurance? That is the amount here in the retail column. Another example, we do rust proofing on our RVs. So the customer pays, okay, how much do I, the dealership, pay for it? That's what I need to put here in the cost column. All right, so let's go ahead, and I'm just going to take a moment to key in some figures here. This is my cost. This is how much I paid for these things. And in the first column is how much the customer is paying for these items. Okay, I think I have everything completed. Everything else looks good. And here is the amount. This is the difference between the amount in the retail column versus what's in the cost column. And then on top of this, we have anything that would be commissionable from here. And then your total at the bottom, it's your F&I amount of $4,300. All right, so we're good. And so now let's go to the commissions tab. Now you may or may not use EverLogic for commissions. EverLogic cannot be used for payroll purposes, but it could be a helpful tool in the calculation of your commissions. So on the commissions tab, we see the breakdown here are the names of my salespeople that worked on this deal. And then I have below my managers, okay? And of course, I'm the sales manager. And then I also have a business manager. Monica is my business manager. So I am going to look at calculating their commissions in each category. Please pay attention. The box in the center is listed for the finance department. Okay, so the commission for the finance department, that would be Monica. So let's say Monica, she does all my paperwork. She's the person that got the customer to finance through Sheffield so I could get the spiff. And here I'm going to give her 2%. Now I place her percentage, by the way, here under the finance department side. Not the box to the right, that's for the sales department. Okay, so here, by the way, I could have put in a flat rate. Again, remember, you can either put in a percentage or a flat rate, either or. All right, that's for Monica. I'm going to take 3%, and since I'm the sales manager, I shouldn't put it here. I should be placing it here. That's why I want to remind you. Please be sure you've got your sales department on the right side, your finance department on the left side. All right, and then I had one salesperson here. I have my system to automatically set up to this 15% commission for my sales people. Remember, if you'd like for us to help you set up any of the defaults in your system, please just reach out to us. We'll be happy to help you. All right, and so now I've got my finance department commission amount, and I have my sales department commission amount, and here is the total commission amount. Everything is checked and balanced. We are now ready to save in the upper left-hand corner, and we're going to go to wash the deal.